What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. Time for another pregame video with these Washington Huskies as they continue their march through, hopefully, a special final Pac-12 season. So far, so good. And this week, you can't really call it a test, but it's not a cupcake either. These Arizona Wildcats, they're they're not the worst team, that's for sure. They've got some things on that team that are working all right. They've started 3-1, but you're going to face much better teams down the road for sure. And this is another game that if you're a Washington fan, you got to expect to be winning decisively. And if you don't, that might indicate you have a little bit of a problem, or at the very least, your team didn't really bring it for this one. So, first of all, I plan on streaming this game Saturday night, like I always do. Starts at 7 p.m. It is on the Pac-12 channel, so I know some people will not get that game. So if you want to come watch me do a kind of play-by-play watch-along of it, then turn on out. You'll probably see the stream placeholder go up a little later, and we will do the watch-along as we always do. And I'm expecting good things, but whatever happens, I will be streaming for it. So, this game, Arizona, they have taken care of business so far this year. They beat up on the lesser teams on the schedule. They got a game against, I think it was Northern Texas. They won easily. They handled UTEP, I believe. And then they gutted a nail biter out against mighty Stanford. So that's, I mean, it's 3 wins. It's 3 wins, but the one decent team they played this year is Mississippi State, and Mississippi State's not that good. They're not some powerhouse or anything. They're not ranked. They're not going to do anything really all that impressive over in the SEC. And Arizona gave them a game, but they lost. So that's the one loss this year. I will say their passing attack seems pretty good. Delora is a decent enough quarterback. He's got a little bit of a turnover problem so far this year, but he's making plays. He's doing some positive things. It's not great, but it's pretty solid. They can throw the ball. Their running game's okay. It's not very. The volume isn't really there, but the efficiency is. They can run the ball very efficiently. Their defense so far this year has been all right, but I don't know if it's really built to handle what Washington can throw at them. So it should be another game very similar to what we dealt with Cal last week. This is ultimately the definition of a trap game, however, because after this game, you have a bye week and then you play Oregon. And Oregon is the first real test of the season to figure out if this team has a chance of being great or not. So this is the textbook definition of a trap game. This is what a trap game is. I get a lot of comments on some Seahawks videos talking about upcoming games saying, oh, this is a trap game, this is a trap game. Guys, in order for it to really be a trap game, your team has to actually be kind of full of themselves. So people are calling like a game after a loss a trap game. And I'm like, guys, you can't have a trap game if your team just lost. You got like you got to be feeling yourself a little bit to fall into a trap, right? Like that's got to be at least part of it. And I think the other part is you're looking ahead to your next opponent. So this is definitely a potential trap game because Washington's playing great. They're 4-0. They looked really good last week. I know the defense gave up some stuff in garbage time, but really when it mattered, I thought that the team played really well. They got a running game going. Penix is now a Heisman favorite, even though I don't believe he's going to win it right now. He is listed as the favorite, which is really cool. This is potentially a trap game. The bye week might help, but I am interested to see how the team responds on Saturday. Are they going to go out there and just go through the motions to win by like 10 or 13 or something? Because last year we played this Arizona team, and this was actually the game that I missed because I was at a Mariners game when this game was being played. But this was the game where Penix set the franchise record, or not franchise record, school record for passing yards, and we still didn't win by that much. It was a close game. Our defense tried to find a way to let Arizona win. So there's some stuff here that is worth noting. I do think our defense is better than it was last year. I don't think they're going to let something like that happen again. I would like to see the pass rush come alive, but big picture overall, I do think our defense is better to where they won't let something like that happen. But Arizona gave us a game last year, and I do think they have the passing attack to at least threaten that. But ultimately, I can't really sit here and say anything other than I expect a win, and I expect a significant win. Um, this Washington team did kind of come out sleepwalking in that first week. I remember that first 20 minutes was really rough for Washington. And then they snapped out of it, and ever since then they've been playing not flawless, but really, really good. So I kind of feel like that was the moment you fell into the trap and you were able to get yourself out of it in time. So you can't be falling into another trap this dang quickly. Going to be interested to see who comes back. Are we going to get McMillan back? If we don't get McMillan back, then he gets 2 weeks off before Oregon. So we might want to do that. Like we proved last week, we can score just fine with no Jalen McMillan. So I don't know if we're going to see him out there. Asa Turner, I don't have a good feeling about it, but we'll see. Not super positive about Asa Turner getting back out there. So injury-wise, we're going to need a little bit more time to figure things out. I think we got a little bit going on the offensive line. Nothing that should cost us this game. So yeah, there's really not too much else to say other than that. It's another game that Washington needs to use as a launch pad for the next game. And again, there is a lot of reason to believe that this team will be looking ahead a little bit to Oregon. So the real question is this Washington team going to be able to settle themselves down enough to play in this game, to take care of it? Understand this is not one of those schools that will just wilt because you have 5-star recruits and they have 1-star recruits. This is another Pac-12 team. It's not a particularly good Pac-12 team, but they're not going to just melt. They do have some strong players on that team that you won't find on a lot of other rosters. Guys like Northern Texas, they're just not going to have that. Like Arizona has a very intriguing offensive line prospect in Jordan Morgan. I've talked about him a little bit in some of my other videos. I like him. That's a guy who is maybe better than any offensive lineman on the Huskies right now. So they do have some of those athletes. They do have a passing attack, and I do think that there is potential for this Arizona passing attack to do some damage on the Huskies secondary, especially if the pass rush can't get going. But feeling good, feeling like there's a good chance for another 40-point, 50-point output from this offense. There's nothing really on that Arizona defense that makes me think we can't do it. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bow down to Washington. Stream Saturday night. Hope to see you guys then. And then we're going to find out a lot more about this team in the games after this one.